How's it going, Vex versus Vexer? You're gonna have to pray for me in this one. See see the best we can do here. Um, yeah, let's go. So I don't forget, in case anyone stops by, I'll make a prediction on 5 minutes. So you got you could even put it at 10 minutes now. Um, see whether you think I'm gonna win or Vexer. There's statistically a smarter choice here, but sometimes you gotta believe, you know? Still need to message Joe about the clock issue. 45-minute clock. Like the clocks always just like they don't really work. Just occupying my gates right away. I like Sunderved being. Did they play ramming advance? No, they just played a caller and then got in there. Seems pretty good for them. Luckily, we can spawn two things out of this gate. Otherwise, we'd be in a tough spot. We're still kind of in a tough spot. I might just into darkness that brute. um, and just shoot the slinger with a ranger. That feels wrong, but like, oh, I also have a knight. I mean, I could occupy their forward spot. I don't. I kind of want to get in their face, so that's not terrible. I could get a ranger up to the slinger even. Or or sorry, I could get a knight up to the slinger. Um, Getting the knight there feels overextended. So I'm tempted not to do it. I could just have a seeker punch the brute and then go back a spot. Um, I could avoid the area entirely. Hmm. Yeah, this is overthinking, but this is like not an easy spot to be in turn one against the Vargath. I'm kind of tempted to just send a ranger down there and let that be that. I could send a knight over here to finish off this collar. Seems kind of decent. Um, yeah. And Cylinder can go back a spot to open up stuff. Um, no, probably rather not do that. Using Into Darkness on the Brute is kind of a hot take, but I like it. We could pop our own mage after damaging itself this turn. Could be worth. No, I don't think so. Note we have build phase. Stop your momentum. Get out of there. And let's go. All right, pretty good. We get this. That's insane. Damn. I think we hold a seeker. I think seekers are good. Spider's getting in there. It's funny. Sunderved just sitting in the back. All right, finally coming in. Hmm. We just need to get Sunderved off our tail. We need to. This ranger might have been a mistake because it's just easy fodder. I mean, the fact that we didn't get the kill makes it feel like a mistake, I guess. If we had gotten the kill, I'd be feeling great. Into Darkness for a unit feels kind of jank. How's it going, Hergrata? I take it you made the smart play of voting for Vexer. Not having Into Darkness could make this a very short game if we don't draw a gate. I am now very quickly seeing. Um, okay, we need to stop them. Um, I could have a Seeker kill this fighter, put a Knight up there. I mean, they can still get in there. Oh, I can use Shadow Pulse. Probably pretty good. Um, and then I want to have a mage kill that slinger. I don't know. Is there anything I want to reclaim? Oh, I could reclaim a ranger. Interesting. Um, Probably not worth it because I'd have to damage things. Unfortunately, I mean, I could pull the knight back. Now let's just do the mage. It's fine. Go here. We go. Does the mage damage themselves? No, four health on the mage is too valuable. And let's go. 5 over here. We're just trying to stop their pressure. I like saving the Shadow Pulse for later because you're like, ah, crap. Yeah, the Shadow Pulse does nothing here. Shadow Pulse is actively terrible. Um, it's not worth playing even. Damn. Damn. We need to draw a gate. We need to draw a gate. Yeah. Needed to draw a gate pronto. The tome is good, but need to draw a gate. I don't know. This is fine. Yeah, we drew a gate. Cool. Still have a seeker. Could have kept the tome. There's the massive discard. Hey yo, we're in there. Yeah, you gotta discard. It's the play because like you're always discarding a certain amount, so you might as well just do it up front. I mean, like sometimes it'll bite you. I don't know, like because like yeah, the tome is good value, and so now Sundervid can compete more in a value game, but it's fine. Like tempo good. You can lose like I feel like I've seen so many people just like lose games where it's like you were being overrun and you held 3 cards. What were you doing? Like you need to, and it's like right now, like just keeping Sunderved out of my face. Ramming advance would suck right now. Um, is like priority number one. I will always defend the discard. All right, that's good. That means Sundi is not getting, or Selundar's not getting ramming advanced. That knight lives. That's pretty sweet. Somehow we have no boosts on Cylinder, which like sucks. That them putting them putting pressure on us in this way is really just like limiting our options. Like, because we just haven't, like, somehow, and I'd have to look back at it, but somehow we've never had an easy mage goes there and gets us a boost off of our gate. Like, somehow that has never been an easy play for us. Like, it's never been easy to just put a mage. Like, somehow their aggression, their positioning has made it so, like, the Shadow Elves nonsense has not been happening. Shadow Elves are tough, man. And we've discarded, like, everything feels bad right now, and like we've discarded Into Darkness, we've discarded a tome, or we didn't discard Into Darkness, but we used that on an enemy unit, which feels like discarding. It's such a versatile card. I'm a big fan of cards like that, like Into Darkness, where it's like you like it can just be used on so many things, but like some most of them seem mid. um and then like of course it's like kind of gonna be like a solved option of, oh, use it on your 10 health gate, and like that kind of becomes the meta, but like it's still like very debatable. I like just I like decks like the Crimson Order and like how streamlined they are, but like I also like decks that are just like, what the heck are you supposed to do? And like High Elves are like that. Bungle Dwarves are like that. I mean, and like I don't know. I feel like Shadow Elves are the biggest example of just like I played this game a lot and I picked up Shadow Elves and I'm like, what's what's the strat? What do you do? I just had no idea. A lot of fighters, huh? Fighter Palace, exactly. All right, our knight's alive. He's gonna push the knight out of range of Cylinder to like make it hard to pick it up, or like to make us move. Or maybe he'll just push it into our gate actually, so we can't summon things. Okay, did they just miss? Did we just get super lucky? They just missed 6 melee dice on 4. Gotta quick check that. They sure did. They sure did. We're gonna need more rolls like that. How many did they discard? Didn't discard. Interesting. Okay, this is where a tome would not be useful. Okay, yeah, I'm not mad. Um, Clinton, quick. Interesting. I wasn't going to, but you make a compelling argument. Uh, it's a tough spot for it. I won't lie. Like, because we'd have to kill this fighter, Glinton, punch Sunderved. Like, it seems decent. Like, where do we get the? It's and then we glint out to another to get to the seeker. We need to get another boost somewhere. So we could rely on the knight going 2-on-2. I think we kind of need to, because otherwise the mage, if it doesn't pay off, we just wasted a glinting speed. See, that's a sort of play that's like, oh god. Um, Block through gate spot's pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Like I don't think. I mean, we could have a mage, but then we're spending a magic on the mage. Okay, this is really risky. This is really risky. This is so freaking risky. This is infinitely risky. Infinite risk for infinite gain. Something something. That can be occupied by ramming advance. Do I care? I don't. Um, could put it there. Oh god. Oh god. Ugh. I can't believe I'm going for something like this. Oh, thank goodness. That is, I mean, like, I feel behind, which is why I did it. Like, I felt like I needed an in. Dice 4 to the face is huge. Absolutely huge. Get our butts out of here. Punch the fighter in the face. Right. That's really nice. That is what we are looking for. Rewarded. Always rewarded. Um, Lucian seems like kind of garbage. It kind of feels like I need to hold the rest of these cards, though. Yeah. Seven magic and some commons is kind of where I want to be. Mage is good. Go. And now Sunderved needs to be afraid. If we can just make Sunder, like, I'm not even, I mean, assassinating Sunderved is 100% an option, but also just, like, if we can get Sunderved to half health, he's got to play a very different game. So, it's what we're looking to do. This is tense. This is tense. Yeah, her grata gets the reward for calling it immediately. Being like, just go for the glint. Now, if I had missed it, you'd be banned. In the alternative 31% world where I missed the 2-on-2 and had just thrown a glinting speed to no effect, I would be we'd be in a very different mood right now. All right. I'm guessing there's a martial forces or a gate. Probably a gate, because I wonder if you try to. You have two for a reason. Exactly. I mean, and I mean that was the other thing. It's like if I lose a glinting, I mean, like it sucks, but like I don't know. But like normally, I would never go for. I like something that like I really wanted to put the mage like one spot up just in case it missed or something, but I like literally couldn't afford to because my boost economy has been so shit. Um, Yeah, I mean, normally I'd want to go for like at least three ranged on the two, but like that's only a 75. Like you want like three melee on two. Like you want your glinting speed play to be like 10% or lower to like be completely destroyed by missing. Love glinting speed. Am I like a cloaks player for like the cloaks player that cherishes their out of shadows, their like stupid broken movement card? Like love it. You had the magic to afford Ding the Summoner. Yeah, for sure. That like I wasn't just gonna fall behind on board immediately. Yeah. I mean the greater thing is like the resources there. I'm just seeing that like I've lost an Into Darkness, I've lost a tome. Like to also lose a glinting speed to no effect, like it just feels bad. Um but you have other tome like it wasn't a like we could have recovered. It would have been tough, but now we're in a better spot. But I mean, Sunderved's gonna do their best to make that damage meaningless. And see if they succeed. Do we go for a seeker? Three on three, 57% chance to get the glint in. To get the glint in for another 5 to the dome. Oh god. There's no way that's the play. I mean, we can have the boosts. I really hate it, but like there's a world. Like can I at least put a knight to the side? I mean, I could even glint in and like I could do Seeker, Knight, and just freaking stay here. Like, um, I'm all for glinting again. um, yeah, I mean, I'm still not like super used to tricks from Sunderved. How many dice is Cylinder up against? They got the 5, but. I feel like I can only be hit by one attack. Maybe I'm very wrong about that. It feels like I'd want to glint in and then glint out. Um, but we really could just go in there and say hi. Now, if they can retreat effectively, like we were out of glinting speeds, we're out of. It's gonna be tough. Remember the slingers. Thank you, Jackstick. Yes, slingers for counterattacks. Yeah, so we could be up against. We could be up against multiple attacks, potentially even 3 with the right slinger setup. It makes me not just want to sit there. I mean, do we just take a turn to, I don't know, hit their board a bit? Them putting a gate in front of our grade is great because they can't just attack it anymore. So that's maybe the biggest benefit. We could glint out, but like it would cost us. There is a potential lethal. It's like very unlikely of like a seeker and a mage. No, we can't get a mage there. Never mind. I was gonna say like 8 range dice on Sunderved. I don't feel like the glinting play is it here. Can't quite. Other than like if I could guarantee 3-on-3 hits, but like, and maybe Hagrada would say that's enough to go for it. But I can't really glint in and then glint out because like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have a knight there to guarantee the hit, a seeker there, a mage here. What am I gonna glint into the fighter and then glint out to the mage? Like I'm not picking up my own mage. I don't hate myself that much. Um, we could just seeker. Um, we could seeker the fighter and then pick up the seeker and then shoot the fighter. Hmm. This is tough. Let me make sure. Let me see the timers. We're at 33. They're at 32. I am really tempted to glint. We just can't afford it super well. I mean, I could make like I would sleep easier if I had a mage and then a knight attacking. Then I glinted out to a seeker, but I don't have enough moves for that. I don't even have enough moves for the original play because the mage has to go up, the knight has the mage has to go up, the knight has to go up, and then Selundar needs to go one space to the left. So we don't have another move to position like a seeker to glint out of. I feel like I just got to tread for a turn unless I'm willing to go for the 3-on-3 seeker play for glinting. Which like I really don't think I can like look at myself in the mirror and be like, ah, yes, that was a good play. Um, but maybe I can. No, because it's just like, what do I glint? If I'm putting a 3-on-3 seeker there, I want to put a knight over here. So I'm not going to put like a knight over here. Like it would be seeker, Selundar, and then I guess I spawned a knight here. Um, and then I guess there's a mage here, and this mage is gonna die. Like that's crappy spot for a mage. And then if we lose this, we lose the second glinting, and he knows we don't have a glinting anymore. I think it's better just to redeemed my highlighted message for 100. Skill issue. Ah, it's what it's feeling like right now. Um, it's very tempting to dome Sunderved for another 5. Um, okay, I don't think we can do it though. Um, I think does the mage hit our gate over there, and then we pick up the seeker in case we miss? I don't know. I don't think I want to ever pick that up. So this mage might just be sitting back here. Yep. Is there any card we could draw that would let the glinting be easier? Not really. Okay, this is fine. Using on this gate sucks a little bit, but that's fine. Um, Cylinder, where does Cylinder want to be? And why is it not here? I should have traded spaces. Should have put Cylinder down and this mage should have gone up there. I don't feel like Cylinder wants to be here. Well, it's too late now. I don't really want to go a space back. Could have thought about that more. I spent all my time thinking about like the play that I can't do, and then like, well, I mean that's something I easily could have misplayed either way, and we miss it. I feel some kind of vindication for that, even though I probably shouldn't. Um, could attack our own gate there. Feels wrong because of ramming, and we'll hold that. We need that skill issue emote. I want to make a no love for Talia. Talia sucks. I want to make an emote that's like that looks just like the high emote that is like the automatic emote we have, but it just says a skill issue. I try to like look on a if there's like an easy website because I like the production of the high emote, how it's like different. There's like a gradient there. If anyone's like a super talented graphical artist and wants to make a little speech bubble skill issue, um, it'd be forever commemorated in the channel artists attribution. But we'll get it up there eventually. Might be a week or two, but there will be a skill issue emote. The brute feels kind of bad. I'm in a game where the opponent's clock has reset after a full 24 hours. Interesting. Does that have something to do with the bug Joe was talking about? Seemed like there were some weird bugs going down. There's like a weird notification when you boot up the app of like email notifications aren't working or something. Brute getting in there. Brute stealing that spot is kind of rough. I mean, maybe I should have just positioned a mage back there if I just. Uh, yeah, yeah. You know what I could have done? No. I mean, like, I could have maybe. And by maybe, I mean probably not, but like, I really don't think this works. But like, somehow, Seeker attacks the fighter, Mage attacks the fighter, blint in. It's like if the Seeker misses, the Mage would attack after we pick up the Seeker. And then, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now their clock is set to 2:24 again. Interesting. You should report that to Joe. Go, where is it? Just type out a two line email to that address. Well, one of you two. I mean, there's sort of the phenomenon of everyone's like, surely someone else has reported it, but like, maybe no one has. He won't ban you. Joe is a benevolent ruler, I promise. God, this position fucking sucks. Is Sunderved still there? Interesting. Okay, well now I'm gonna Clinton. um, at potentially the expense of a lot of things. Okay, that Seeker not being dead is actually super huge because we can glint out to that Seeker. I'm not sure exactly what just happened there, but we got lucky. um, this is what we need. We can do a pretty huge glint this turn. Ooh, what if we even like top decked a pulse and we could have a mage. Ooh, we could have like a mage go here and then top deck a pulse. Um, Joe set the clock to infinite time until he solves the email notification issue for fear of receiving hordes of emails saying how they lost timeouts for no notifications. Ah, makes sense. Makes sense. So there's an issue right now where people aren't being notified in their emails. And so Joe has the clocks on infinite until he fixes that. Thanks, Watered. Okay. He's getting glinting, but we need a way out. The way out is to the Seeker, so we're gonna have something attack here, Seeker's going here, Cylinder's going here. I'm putting a gate right here and saying, fuck you. Fuck all these units. They're not doing anything. Rip my best win condition. That's why I play the Fungal Dwarves. Um, okay, it would be best to put a mage there, but I'm kind of tempted to do the it'd be best to do a seeker. I'm kind of tempted to do mage just to just to have a shot at top decking the pulse. It's not even that good. It's not even that good. But like also a 4 health unit there is kind of more defendable. Okay, it does have to be all the moves. It's my turn in a game of Summoner Wars Online. Thank you, Tabs. Should I complain to Joe about that? We could jump back to another Seeker. Um, we could do a lot of things. Um, Cylinder isn't safe here because they can just summon a boy um, there and push this to the side and then attack Cylinder pretty big. That'd be bad. Can we stop that? Not really. I mean, okay, so we could do like a cute play where we put the Seeker here, put a Seeker there, glint to this Seeker moves there. We glint in. We glint in, and then we glint out to this Seeker. But something has to occupy that spot. I just don't want to die. I just want to not be destroyed. Did we ever do Samara here? No. Okay, it's surely gotta be the mage play. Is there just any way we could be safe? I mean, we could hide behind a gate. We could glint out to something further back. It's just not happening. Okay, this mage does introduce the chance of just missing on the fighter. I'm not playing around that. We got super lucky first time. Glint to win. Yeah, there's no win on the board that I'm seeing at least. All right, this is huge. I agree. All right, we didn't get the card we were looking for. That's okay. Oh, I wasn't even counting boosts on Cylinder. Thank goodness. Oh my god. And we're so close too. Thank goodness I just lucked into having the right amount of boosts. What the hell? What the hell? All right. What is that gate spot? That gate spot is screw you. These units do nothing for a little bit. This gate spot is I'm buying time. That's what that gate spot is. Oh, you know what I can do? Okay, a sort of miss, but I can attack my own gate here, go back a spot, and then I'm like one spot back, which makes me maybe a little bit less dead, or just exposes me. I don't know. I mean, I'm attacking this gate anyway for the boost. Um, and because we have a third attack. No love for Samara either. Everyone's just gonna get mad at me. I just like against anyone that can just do damage. I mean, Samara could legit be a win con here. Sort of just discarding her reflexively. Rangers are good too. Also discarding them. I'm going to 6 for champion magic. I am discarding my champion. Samara coming out. Why are you discarding? I can get her back with Tome if I really want her. Um, I could hold the champ. Like I might need to with magic. It's a pretty tough decision. My thinking is I can just like kind of coast with commons um for a bit here and like what Samara gonna do for me. Um that was my instinct and we're going with it. And we already took like a 5 minute turn there. Ugh. Cylinders at 5. All right, we didn't draw another glinting, but they have to be afraid. They haven't seen us, even though we have discarded a tome. They don't know that we've discarded a tome, so for all they know, it's going to be super easy for us to glint in again. So they probably need to run. The tome is already reserved for glinting. See, that's what you think. I don't know. The tome is reserved for whatever. It might be reserved for glinting. The thing about Shadow Elves though is like you do if you have enough boosts, you can have a very you can have a very good end game with just popping commons back into your hand. You can find use for magic. I feel like a lot of my Shadow Elves games end up not playing a champ. And that could be skill issue and whatnot. If I fully accept, like I'm fully willing to accept that my shadow elves are not fully realized, but I don't know. Shit, shamps, the shamps are hard to play for shadow elves. Like just because your common game plan is so good. Oh my goodness, what is okay? They got a stronghold. It's like what's going on? Um, there be a stronghold. Um, we can do. Sorry, one second. Um, yeah, we probably into darkness our 10 health gate. I don't know. Are we out of mages? That's a problem. We got one mage. Yuck, yucky, yucky, yucky. Bean was top one Shadow Wolves player for a while in the season. I mean, it clear. Yeah, I should be listening to you. Beans, what's your favorite champ? He's gonna say if he says Talia, he's banned. He's gonna say Samara. No way they do this. No way. Oh, it's is this an aggressive stronghold? No way. No way. Oh, I'm about to get my ass beat. Okay, they missed on the 4-on-4. So there were 6 potential dice lined up on Cylinder. Uh, put some respect on my name. Hey, I am. I'm asking you a question. I don't know what the I don't know what the problem is, Beans. The aggressive stronghold is really hot right now, especially after the glory collar forcing Sunderved. 5 for 5 here for the dub. No, they're gonna stronghold. There's no way. There's no way there's not a stronghold right now. Otherwise, what is this? Pass turn, Vexer. Pass turn. You don't need to play that card. Oh my goodness. All right. Like I've been disproven. Interesting. So Vexer is thinking gotta try something a little bit wacky. Thinking he's behind. 5 for 5 for the dub is tempting. Won't even lie. Is there any way we get more? Because for some sad reason, I'm not seeing it. Um, without a glinting, which we don't have, pretty tough to get more. And we're also using it into darkness on a gate, which sucks. Though like 5 dice on Cylinder is nothing to laugh at. And like I don't really care about using my into darkness for super mega value right now. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll fall into your trap. What's the trap? Someone before Before I do this stupid thing, what's the trap of just leaving Cylinder there and punching Sunderved for 5? How are we dead? Are we dead to like some Varn bullshit? I mean, like, they have it on board, like with a double slinger. Okay, that's the trap. It's just Cylinder plus Slinger plus, sorry, Sunderved. They're too similar. Plus Slinger plus Slinger is probably kills me. I am probably dead to that. All they need to have is another Slinger. They have 2 more Slingers. It feels like we should be fine, but the Slingers are in fact pretty insane. It's so tempting. How is this not just like a easy W right now? Gosh darn it, Vexer. Am I gonna sit here and trade units like a chump? I lose. I lose if I go for the 5-on-5. I lose. I lose that game. I 100% lose that game. Especially with anything else that boosts their dice. I lose that game. I can't go for that. All right, what's the other play? What's the other play? We go for the slinger. Yeah, we don't have it. We just don't have it. Um, um, do we Into Darkness our 10 health gate? I mean, Into Darkness is just such a great assassination thing, but like, I feel like I might hold Into Darkness for better assassination potential, and then what? This turn I just sort of lollygag around and like punch my own gate. I could Into Darkness my 10 health gate and go for value here. Um, and just set up a Seeker. I could try to kill both Slingers right now. A lot of things I could do. It's tough here. Um, I think Knight goes here, Cylinder goes here, Mage goes. Gonna go there. It's fine. Mage can just sit in place. Um, uh, yeah, and then that's like good enough, I think. I don't know. I'm tempted to refresh my 10 health gate to get some more boosts with Into Darkness. I know that feels bad going for value, but it's just such a good assassination card, and Sunderved is so low. I can't possibly do it. But like we're gonna run out of gates. We're gonna run out of things to damage for our infinite damage plan. I mean, I guess we can reclaim the gate with something else. Do it. What am I doing? What does that mean? Is there anything else we could grab? We could grab a Shadow Pulse that does nothing. All right, all right. Do the thing. I'm not doing the thing. I don't even know what thing you're talking about, but I'm not doing it. 13% chance to win. I lose the game 100% if I do that. 100%. Um, do I like refreshing my own gate is the decision here. I think I'm not going to. I'm gonna have enough faith in finding an assassination later with into like holding into darkness for assassination is something I don't normally do. So you've gotten me to do that. Like we're believing right now. 87% chance equals 100% chance. If we yes, 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 it does. I feel like our chance of winning on econ is better than 13% chance, and that's why we're not going for the assassination. I'll I'll read that message when I'm done in a second. If someone found something better, I can believe it. And do we get rid of a ranger now? I'm kind of tempted to hold. We're not really bouncing anything too well. Kind of tempted to hold this. You have more. Seeker kills Slinger, moves up. Return to Shadows. Mage hits from where Gate was. So no way there's something like that. No way there's something like that. You're saying so Seeker kills Slinger, moves up. Return to Shadows. Mage hits from where Gate was. So 5. So here, this is where the mage is. So 8. Are you thinking how does Cylinder? Where does Cylinder attack from? Are you thinking I have glinting? You return, but we don't have. Yeah, we don't have glinting speed in hand. If we had glinting speed in hand, wait, you don't have shadow step. Yeah. No, for sure. I've gone through like entire turns as Shadow Elves of like async games, like thinking like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm like, wait, I don't have glinting speed in hand. You kind of just assume that glinting speed is just like inherently you have it as cylinder. Um, so I cannot blame you. Yeah, the brute kind of sucks there. I don't know. I am worried we just lose the value game here. Some might say, okay, Ben, so did you set up a kill or something? And to that I say, I guess I didn't. No, you're totally good. Gaslighting me. I see how it is, etc. Sometimes that'll be like like level 3 will be like in my chat is like, no, there's something better. You can get more dice. And I'm like, I swear to God, you are gaslighting me. Like there's not more dice right now. But then he'll find it. He'll like he'll like message me like 30 minutes after the stream has ended and be like, yes, on this one turn you were taking, I found a way that you could have gotten one more dice. Yeah, this is scary. This is scary. And like maybe being in choke, I was hoping choke points like this were gonna benefit from being able to pick up units, but like we really don't want our last seeker to die. There's a lot of things we don't want to die. We could have tried to draw towards the tome. If we gotten the tome, we could have killed Sunderved because he thinks he's safe. We're not draw. Okay, I think I should have discarded the seeker. I don't know. To try to get the tome. A lot of things I could have done. Like I don't know if treading water was it. If we're losing. Had the slinger in hand. So yeah, we were absolutely facing down 10 dice minimum on cylinder if we missed the 5-on-5. We could do like a big shadow pulse turn. I don't know, it could be good. We could have a ranger like shoot at the slinger. Shadow pulse getting Sunderved down to 4. Now that's different. 5-on-4 is a lot better than a 5-on-5. So like there's a world. It's still like I'm pretty sure like a 48% chance. Maybe it's better. Is 5-on-4 like a 55? I'm pretty sure it's like a 48% chance. Someone can correct me. Like it's not as good as you think it is. 5 range dice suck. 2 range dice better than 5 range dice. Okay, but like yeah, I really should have been thinking about like okay, like how do we set up a kill here? going to the end of the clock. It's kind of my fault. Like I sort of set the precedent of taking 5 minute turns. But you know, gotta I can't lose to something terrible and embarrassing against Vexer. I gotta put in some amount of thought. Ugh. The Vexer said they were retiring from competitive play, but are they in this tournament? Non-season tournament? Oh, if they kill that Shadow Knight, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Okay, they missed. Killing that Seeker sucks. It's alright. We needed to get another Glinting. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. Um, Gate coming down. That's a problem. That is problem. Everything's a problem. Round two. Shut up. Shut up. That brute is moving at like one one space a turn. Summoned glory caller. They've only got one more caller, so yeah, that brute's kind of a sitting duck. I'm thinking we do have Shadow Pulse. You can't somewhat protect yourself this time. We are fine, and you know it. We're doing great. Like 10 out of 10. Um, wouldn't trade this position for the world. I think we refresh the Shadow Knight. Um, Sage Ranger, we're gonna shoot down that row. Eh, are we? I could have Cylinder attack the gate. Now that is sketchy because Sunderved might destroy his own gate. I could also have the knight attack the gate. Um, yeah, okay. The brute is terrifying. You got me. Like I'm terrified of this brute here. It is a worse position right now than we were before. Beans's might be right. Um, we could like do a ranger here. Um, with a mage behind it, and so the brute can't like force anything, and that's our end game. And then we do one attack here. We do a second attack on the gate and the third attack on the brute. Um, okay. Alternatively, we just put a ranger here and then a mage there. That's pretty good. And then we can't do anything. Oh, we could even make that I mean, I would want to make that a seeker, but this is my last seeker. We can't lose this guy. This guy is very precious. Um, this position sucks. This position sucks. Um, uh, uh, uh. I really like the Shadow Pulse, though. Shadow Pulse seems good here. And I like saving the Seeker. I like saving the Mage. We draw a card even. Um, oh, the Ranger totally can't be forced. Um, we could try to draw Tome. No, because that's not the same as drawing Glinting. Okay. Um, Ranger being forced is a problem. We're getting back. We're getting backed against a corner here. It's not great. It's not great. This is fine. This is totally fine. Yeah, and we're gonna draw some cards, get some boosts, easy game. Easy life. Easy. I feel the value game slowly creeping out from under my fingers. All right, we got the tome. So like now we just gotta believe and not throw. Um, is there a world where we keep this gate up so that they still think they're safe? Do we bait them by keeping this gate up? Um, do we place another gate over there? We probably do. um, then they can get into Sunderved, which is bad. But if I just attack this gate, we could kill the brute by popping it. Then they can get to Cylinder. Um, like I don't really want to have Cylinder attack this gate because like then we're staring down some dice that could be bad. And then they see the writing on the wall. But this play kind of sucks too to like well, let's see this attack. Hmm. So if we go 3-on-3, we could kill the brute. What would really just suck though is if we pull the slinger and then they have the other collar, they force it there and then force me one spot to the side. I just can't. Just not a fan. All right, let's just do the original thing. Oh, I mean, it just really sucks if they take down the gate, but let's hit it. Fuck. We just lost the game. Jeez, man. Well, well, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. What did he say? Something to the effect of on the scuffle? What were you saying? Do. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Okay, do we need to draw either of these cards? Do we discard the pulse? Um, I don't think so. I think we hold the pulse. I should have just had the knight attack it. What was I thinking? Well, now we just have to get like super lucky to. Gee, that 13%. Look, it was a 13% chance to lose the game. All that we had to do was not one shot that gate. Sorry, I missed some messages. Did Vexer say he won't play more competitive Summoner Wars? He did. He said he was retiring. And he said he was gonna like just like focus on just like having fun playing live games and whatnot. I'm mad. I'm mad because bad. I deserve it. And like even if Cylinder does 3, like it's still kind of like it's just it didn't feel right because it's just like if they see a 2 health gate, they're running. If they see a 2 health gate, they're getting out of there. If they see a 4 health gate, they might stay. It's just uh, uh, if you had one less health, was a kill also. All right, there's a world. There's some stupid world. Oh my god, it gets the exact damage. If my gate had one less health, um, what if I had gotten something behind it? Not sure what you're talking about. Which gate? This one? Yeah, there'd be something. If something. Her channel points for her grata. I don't know if anyone actually. I don't think anyone bet on me. Yep, 100% of the bets are on Vexer. Well, you win the moral victory if no points. messaging Vexer. I think we're gonna do a quick chat. What are you saying, Hagrada? We could have got something behind. Oh yeah, yeah. We could have moved like a ranged unit behind. We could have put Cylinder behind and put a yeah. If our gate had less health, it was so close. It feels like we just done something a little bit better. Vexer says he was laughing when I got the 5-on-5. To do. Um, to do. All right. Hello, hello. How's it going?
Hey, hello there.
That I felt so close to getting something on you, but not quite. It was very well played. Very well done.
Yeah, that was also a good game. So it was, yeah, really close. I was concerned about, well, Into the Darkness at the end.
Yeah,
But I felt like, well, I mean, you need to go for the 5-5. Was just trying to be in a position in which you can really get two attacks on Sunderved.
yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
and then the counter attack, like if you try that strategy, like it would be what I did at the end of going for that shot, which I think it was around 74, 75%. So I had to go for it, especially because at the end I had Stronghold. So
Mm.
even if I failed that one, I felt confident that I could just move them back into a safe spot.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and so that first turn, so the turn before this one, I did have the Into Darkness, but I was just like arguing with Chad. I was like, "There's no way I go for the 5-on-5 on Sunderved because all you need is one more slinger, and then you're rolling 10 dice on Cylinder because I didn't have the glinting speed to get out of there." Um, so yeah, you called that perfectly. That I'm not willing to use the Into Darkness on the gate just to get a 5-on-5.
So what happened there with your tomes? I noticed like you didn't play any. Did you had any at the end?
I discarded one very early because I was afraid of your pressure, and then I just drew one, and yeah, I just drew one that last turn. So if I hadn't destroyed your gate like an idiot, I would have had one for the next turn. So yeah, and then I could have tried to glinting. Well, like at what point were you gonna retreat with Sundervid? Like at what point? Like, if say I had just like had that knight attack that gate and damage the gate, and then I shadow pulse Sundervid down to 4. At that point, are you gonna run away?
Yeah, well, at that point, I had to start considering the fact that Into the Darkness was now like the odds were on your side if you bring me to 4 or 3.
Yeah,
At 4, I would still don't be like that concerned unless you have a way of shooting, doing 2 damage. But I hadn't seen any shadow pulses. So probably if you send it to 4, like I'm already thinking about retreating because then with the tomes, which I also hadn't seen, you can just return with a tome, another pulse, and then do Into the Darkness. In this game, I was assuming that you wouldn't, of course, like discard any Into the Darkness because they're just extremely useful against the brutes. It's
yeah,
a bit devastating, like getting those brutes returned because it's not only that you're losing the 2 magic and the position, it's a position that you will not be able to retake with a brute, as it won't be able to move two
interesting,
spaces back to wherever it was
interesting.
blocking.
Yeah,
So it really hurts you. Like wherever you got that brute, it's really hard to get it back into that position.
that's interesting. Because when I did that first, like, so every time I use Into Darkness on something other than my 10 health gate, I feel kind of bad. So like on the first turn, I used Into Darkness on your brute, and I was like, I feel like I gotta do this for tempo, but it didn't feel right. But you think Into Darkness on a brute is really strong. I mean, that makes sense
Oh
because
yeah,
they're
yeah.
so slow.
Whenever you can get it on a 2 magic unit, like you're gaining, right? Like there's some tempo advantage that you're getting there from the well, some resources. from a magic perspective, and especially when they are blocking your front gate. At that point, like yeah, like you needed to do that at the beginning of the game with because I started. I try to put pressure on your summoning spots, hoping you didn't have like the gate in your opening hand, and then that slowed you down a little bit, right? Like you got the gate until like turn 2 or 3, and I kept blocking those spots, so it just really forces you into disadvantageous positions. So yeah, that was like a good Into the Darkness. And then the second one, as I didn't saw it, I thought like, well, he's probably going to use it for the kill shot as you went for the glinting speed for the damage. And this is an interesting match because Sunderved, it's not something like you can really just hide him, right? It's not like you can say like, oh, I'm just going to keep it on the back because
Yeah.
he needs to be in the action, at least around the action, right? If you're not like within the spaces of all your other units, like they won't really be able to come on top of any like exchange that you are in with the opponent for a while. So I had to have him around. You notice I never really exposed him to like hit with him and then just leave one flank open or something like that because against Shadow Elves, leaving a single flank open many times can mean like you get 2 or 3 attacks out of that same flank.
Yeah.
And that's all really they need to get you into like a 7 range, 7 damage or something like that, 7 health. And then you're like one turn away from an assassination turn. So usually I play Mountain Vargath a little bit more aggressively. Also with Sunderved, I send him forward. Sometimes like you trying to use his pretty strong attacks, trying to use Battle Leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
More aggressively to make like devastating turns. But in here, like all you need is really to get hit like 1 or 2 times to be around that 8 health range, and then you're at risk of getting assassinated. Especially in this case that you went with a glinting speed. Like I never really exposed him, and I was already at 5 health, right? Like I never really like exposed a flank, and even that way, you had me ready for an assassination turn. So I think this is a tough match for Mountain Vargas because usually they want to capture the middle of the field and keep the battle there, like pushing slowly. Like if you can just push them all the way back, it's all right. But you want to capture that middle ground, right? Before like you don't want the opponent to clog your front gates and do those type of things. So you try to push forward, and you want Sunderved in the middle of it, boosting everyone. But the thing is, that's exactly what Shadow Elves wants. Like they want the action to be happening in the midfield so that everything is within the range of Selundar, and they're able to be like hitting, retreating, being in the range of like the mages, getting the ping on the gate and attacking, bouncing everything. So that's why it makes it so challenging. And the fact that Sunderved has to be in the middle of everything, it's a risk. Like right now, that was the perfect example. Like even though I didn't attack with it, you had me like one assassination turn away. So
Yeah.
it's a tough turn, and like I couldn't really this is one of the main differences between why Shadow Elves is so good and compared to other decks is that for example, to use the Battle Leader event, it's hard to use it in this matchup unless I also have martial forces to
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, after doing the big hit, covering that flank so that I don't get like a big hit from Shadow Elves. So unless you have both of them in your hand in a moment that you can use it, you end up having to discard them. Like at first, I had a martial forces, right, which is it's a great event. But on my first turn, but I was like, I think I'm not going to be able to use it for at least like multiple turns, and you don't want those events clogging your hand
Yeah.
because you need to keep it moving, right, to be finding the right cards, to be having like variety on the unit.
Yeah.
And then you're just hoping like, well, the next one that I get, I'll try to make the most out of it. But you never really know when that's going to happen. With Shadow Elves, you don't worry. Like you have the events in the hand, you discard them, and you know that you're going to be able to get them at the end of the game, whatever you actually need them for the big turn or the kill with the tome. So that's why Shadow Elves is hard to get like bad hands, or it's hard to be in a situation in which you don't have the right event at the right time compared to other factions.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. And yeah, it seems like a tough matchup. Yeah, like anyone that needs to take the midfield against Sunderved, it's just scary. Because as you say, like you're defended every single turn there, and I'm still just finding ways to just ping you. and get you
Yeah,
down.
exactly. Yeah, I
Do
was
to do.
already at five. That was. I think in this matchup, like what I notice is, well, I mean, I cannot really stay back, right? They don't have the range game to be able to do something like that, and they don't really have the impact and the power like something like Tundra Orcs to overwhelm Shadow Elves because like
Mm,
Shadow Elves likes to be in the middle exchanging, but if the other deck is too aggressive, sometimes like you can just overwhelm them and rush them. So Mountain Vargath doesn't have the same momentum as those aggressive decks in which you're able to do that things that fast unless you are able to line up and have like the ramming event at the right time, which is something that's not always in your control. Sometimes like you can overwhelm them, but otherwise you need to start advancing slowly. And that's where the gates, like I felt like they were going to be a key factor in this game. At first, I was discarding a little bit, well, not super aggressively, but I was discarding to be able to draw 3, 4 per turn to find my first gate.
yeah.
And then one of the things that helped me was finding the other gates to be able to keep that momentum forward of moving everything while still having like a relatively safe situation for the summoner. And I think at the end that was kind of like the key gate, right? On my last movement, that I was able to shift the game a little bit, but still have Sunderved in the front with that gate there. That was going to be a problem for you because where I put it, both of the three summoning spots were open. So at that point, you either had to find like a way of blocking them, so not being able to immediately like return your seekers, or if you
Yeah.
try to bounce it and attack me, like that was the situation we discussed in which you needed a 5 for 5
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that situation, and then you were the counterattack. I had the slingers ready for that. I like left my hand with one in hand. Like I had two. I ended with one in my hand, one played and spotting, which I thought was relatively safe. So yeah, otherwise, like it's hard to try to keep moving forward because there are few safe spots when advancing against Shadow Elves with so many things that they can do and so many tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like you say that like something like Tundra Orcs can try to just beat down Shadow Elves really fast with an aggressive approach, but like Sunderved can't quite do that. And so like what what do you feel like is the easiest way of framing how Sunderved should approach this matchup? Is it like just a slow but sure advance forward, just like steadily trying to establish a midboard and get trades and just hope that you don't die in the process? Or would you phrase it differently?
I would do something like that, but the key I would say is really like that shift forward, covering those front summoning spots, which at least like buys you some time, gets you in preferential positions. As you notice, like during the first turns, I really prioritize like sending units back into blocking those spots, even though I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose my fighter right now, or using the fighters instead of, for example, the brute to be able to push your units into your own summoning spots. So that way, at least I knew like I was gonna be slowing you down, developing
Yeah.
your board and doing all that stuff while I try to keep moving forward until I get like a gate to um, to block your front gate with that, and then have the threat of the sides bringing units in. That's where the brutes are really great because if you do that gate and then have a unit next to it, which is what I did with like the one health fighter, after they kill them, like you can be in that position in which you summon the brute, which moves them back, and then you advance and block their summoning spot. So that was what I was trying to do there to keep like that pressure going. Like then you kind of like
Interesting.
locked in that brute there, but pretty much I cut off that side of the board, right? Um, I had to shift. So yeah, I mean, you did a good move there, not trying to fight for that position because it's hard with the brutes when you're going to
Yeah.
be attacking with a single unit per turn. But I kind of like kept the momentum, forced you to go to the other side, and then I had the other gate to be able to establish my presence on the other side and the threat of the summoning positions there.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I like that thought of like using the brutes to steal spots and keep the pressure up. I feel like the brutes are so they feel hard to use. They feel like very effective when you can get it to work, but just like this being slow is just so often it's just like gosh, just one space out of range of doing something very cool. But
Yeah.
that might be just me being bad with with Mount Vargath.
No, no, that's the main issue with them. Like it's easy for a brute. Like sometimes the way to deal with a brute is not killing it. It's just shifting the game to a different part of the board, and the brute is going to be stranded there, and it's useless, right? Like that's a funny thing with the brutes. So that's
Yeah.
why one of my preferred targets for martial forces is the brutes, right? You want to, it allows you to
Mm,
bring them back into action so that they're not a lost unit that is like just far
yeah.
away, not really being usable in any way. The other is like the this summoner that is amazing, the 7 health dude Barn. That
Yeah.
guy, it's great to always be moving with him, bringing the brute with you, or re-look like forming, doing the forum up with the brutes, because it's easy for a brute to be left stranded in a part of the like the board that is irrelevant, and then it's too low, really, literally, the ability to move back into where the action is. So yeah, that's one way of dealing with those guys.
Interesting. That makes sense. I'm curious, real quick, with like your experience with playing the events in the Mountain Vargath. Like how often? Like you said in this matchup, like you had to discard what do you say an early martial force and whatnot. Like, do you feel like in general, like how often are you able to get out like ramming advances and strongholds versus discard them?
Yeah. In this one, I mean, all events are powerful. Like they can be really powerful, but they are situational. So
Yeah.
that means that, for example, the first stronghold, like most of the times, really, I discard it, right? Because
Interesting.
it's only useful in that situation in which you move forward, like in kind of like the position that I was at the end, and then you just need to go back. In some rare occasions, and like very like fun turns, I've been able to do like a ramming advance, like move Sunderved and a few guys forward, like do a big hit,
Yeah.
plant a gate, and then reposition myself on their side of the board with a stronghold. And in one of the tournament games right now, the PHE tournament, I was able to do something like that. And then the second stronghold, I use it afterwards to escape, but then leaving that gate there. So, but most of the time, like really, it's a late game type of event. Our ramming advance is like a powerful card, but situational because it only really works out when you have the lanes aligned with nothing to be able to get the boost, or you have the color to be able to shift the units that you need to be able to do an effective advance, or like the best really is a combination when you have also battle leader so that you have 4 moves and are able to do something like pretty nasty. But other than that, most of the time I really discard it, especially because I like with them to try to claim the middle of the board. So that means that my gates, I tend to put them on the third row. I think really, unless you're going against another aggressive deck, that in which maybe you put them on the second row, putting them on the third row many times means that you might not really have the space, enough space to actually get the ramming advance bonuses. So that's why I think it's the one that I use the least, really, from the 4 events. But Battle Leader, I try to use both of them every game. I mean, this is an exception because of what we talked, but
Yeah.
normally I try to use both. I never really discard them, or I never use them just for the movement. I've seen some replacing which people just move with it, but don't really get an attack, and I feel like I don't think that it's really valuable that way, unless you're good at doing a play that pretty much wins you the game,
Yeah.
because that's hit for 5 plus the 3 attacks. It really allows you to wipe the board. So all you really need is to align Sunderved in a position in which you're close to the middle of the board so that you're going to be able to then use Battle Leader to get in position to hit something big for 5. And finally, martial forces. That's the one that I also try to use both of them.
Yeah.
I really only discard it if it's on my opening hand, which is the situation in which sometimes you think like, you know what, it's gonna be like 2, 3, 4 turns maybe before I can really use this. So I'll just discard it because I need to get things moving to find my gate. That's the main reason most of the times with this deck, because you're going to have units, which most of the units allow you to do what you need to do to start moving things. But if you get stuck with one gate, it's really hard to develop that board because your own unit, sometimes you're blocking some of those summoning spots as you're trying to move Sunderved forward and then be in like the two range of everything. So it's very important to get the first gate. So I would usually discard the first version of most events, except the battle leader most of the time, unless I really see that, you know what, I'm really not going to be able to use this again for 2, 3 turns. I'll just discard it because I really
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
find something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like that's generally where where I felt with the events is like they feel situational, and so I don't feel bad discarding one copy. Though like that's also sometimes just a sign that like I'm not playing the deck right. If I'm just never playing the events. So I'm thinking about like if I should be finding more ways to get things in. But everything you said makes sense.
Yeah, in general, I would say, with the events, I wouldn't just play them just for the sake of playing them for minimum value, because you always have to remember that the event is also like a potential one magic that you can just
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
So sometimes I see people playing them for like almost really no value, and I think like at that point, it's just better to discard it unless you can really get the equivalent of that one magic and like doing something on the board, like killing something, or really sometimes like just giving you a good position is enough. Like with Stronghold, even if you don't really kill something or save the Sunderved from death with it, just getting into a better position that won't allow the opponent to really attack you effectively, it's worth the stronghold card, right? Because if they really can just get like barely one attack that is useless or something, instead of killing like one or two of your units, you're getting something. But otherwise, sometimes it's just better to like discard it and just play more units, right? Like whatever is getting things moving in the board, like killing units. So I think many, especially of the some of the older decks, have some events that were almost like you never really got value out of them. They were almost auto discard. I think they're
yeah.
doing a better job now with the events of like making them all of them like good, like playables, things that most of the time you can get big value out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And did you did you say earlier will you put your gates in the second row to try to get the ramming advance value, or no? Do you usually put them in the third row?
I always put them on the third row.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
I would, not sure if some people are trying it on the second row. Like I'm imagining some matches, for example, if you're going against Tundra Orcs, you don't really probably need it on the third row, right? Like they're gonna come at you. Like there's gonna
Yeah.
you're not gonna be lacking for range of like when summoning and getting them on the exchange. So it could be viable, but I haven't really tried it that much. I really haven't played almost at all lately. Just right now the tournament. So I've been playing a little bit. Well, before I played MB like the Vargath a bit, but haven't experimented enough with them to be able to compare like second row versus third row, but
Yeah.
just based on the motion of the decks, I would say like for any deck that you're going against that is either a defensive or a mid-range deck, I would probably stick with the third row only if it's a like a crazy aggressive deck that is going to be coming at you and you don't really need to try to move forward because you're too aggressive. Then maybe the second row is really where you want to be, just to have more space and don't allow them to just clog your gates so easily or do things like that.
Interesting. That makes sense. Yeah, it's I feel
Yeah,
like no, go ahead.
yeah, because well, one thing to say is that ramming advance, I mean, it's just two events, right? Just two cards, so you wouldn't really
Yeah, yeah.
change the way you play the overall match just for the hope of being able to get like a ramming advance. Right? It's unless you're already seeing the combo for the next turn, like you have that gate and you have ramming and battle leader, and you're already planning, like plotting something, maybe you change your gate positioning because of that. But otherwise, I would never really change it because it's too uncertain, right? Like all you need is suddenly the board gets clogged and the action is on that side, and then like the ramming advance doesn't really do anything. Sometimes what people do is, which it works in some situations, is for example, let's say that in this turn I didn't kill you, so then I would do the stronghold and go all the way back to. And actually, at the end of the game, I did have my last hand was stronghold, and I had my second ramming advanced. So
Oh,
if I
interesting.
use my
Yeah.
stronghold to go to all the way to the left of my board, then maybe I don't discard the ramming advance because I can do like a ramming advance turn to get back Sunderbird, like back into all the way on your side of the board and restore the offensive, right? Like not be out of the game at that point with the summoner because he's far away. Like you can just bring all your units back to for a big hit. So I've seen it used that way. I've used it that way. It's also very situational because it would just happen to be that point of the game in which you get value out of the stronghold, bringing you back, and then you also had the ramming advance in hand to bring everything back in and just keep the momentum or just do like a big hit. So very circumstantial. So it's just if you see the opportunity, you go for it, but otherwise you always consider just going for value of the discard to be able to play your like constant flow of units on Barn. Pretty much Barn is like a must play champion. It's kind of like a Baldo in the Wayfarers, in which you always want to play him, right? So you have to plan accordingly to discard whatever you need to discard to bring him on the board. He's
Interesting.
just that good.
Interesting. That sort of makes sense. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun figuring out a new deck. I feel like maybe that's even the most fun in Summoner Wars, and I feel like it takes me so long. Like High Elves and Swamp Orcs, I feel like I'm still only like halfway up the learning curve for them. Like I haven't even really gotten to the point where I'm comfortable with them. And now Mountain Vargath and Crimson Order, like I feel like I've barely played it. It takes so long to feel comfortable, and then even when you feel comfortable you feel like there's just a whole nother level of mastery that like you can just always keep getting better.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no,
yeah,
for sure. Especially because it's not only like mastering the theme and the deck cards and the interactions of the deck, then really like you can potentially start mastering the specific matchups, right? Like each matchup, you have all those different variables. Like right now, we just talked about the variables on this matchup, but every single one would probably have its own like specific things that you need to play differently or try to do differently because the other deck is trying to do X or Y or Z.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's yeah, there's just so much, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks for the game. Do you have to head out here? I'm happy to play another one too. Totally up to you.
I have to head out right now. I have to take my dog out for a walk before the few
Yeah, of
hours of
course.
sun that I still have
For
around.
for,
But
for sure. It's
I'm
already dark
afraid,
over
like,
here. Go ahead.
yeah, next weekend we can do another matchup if you're available.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, I'll definitely be free. This was a ton of fun. It was great to chat too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
See
I'll see you
you,
later.
man. Good chatting with
Bye.
you, man. Bye.
Yeah, of course.